Good evening and welcome to Vibration, where we empower individuals to speak their distinct truth, passions, and personal message on a global online stage. I'm your host, Mechelle McDonald, passionate author, speaker, and entrepreneur. And tonight, I give a special thank you to our show sponsor, Amber L, a Bahamian artisan skin line that encourages you to nourish your everyday skin glow. A calling is connected to a passion, a vision that goes beyond the surface. It guides us and grips us to our core. In connection to this concept and the theme, Representation Matters, Faces of the Caribbean, tonight's topic is answering the call of entrepreneurial leadership and expansion with my guest, Miss Melissa Darville, who is a new author in the Christian spiritual development genre, writing 4 books, The Truth, POV Spiritual Eyes, Faith Walk, and Hey Sis. She's the co-founder of Shiva Premium Ice Cream, which locally manufactures sorbet and ice cream. Shiva merged the need for a healthier frozen dessert with the art of sorbet making and a taste of the culture of the Bahamas. Ms. Darville was also named one of the top 25 most influential women in business in the Bahamas 2023. This entrepreneurial startup showcased the Bahamas as one of the top 100 global finalists in the Entrepreneurship World Cup held in Saudi Arabia in November 2019. Ms. Darville represented Barbados and neighboring islands in the 2022 Climate Launchpad Green Business Idea Competition. She is also the local representative for the Global Entrepreneur Network, which hosts Entrepreneurship World Cup, Global Entrepreneurship Week, and Startup Huddle Nassau. Entrepreneurship, passion, and the need to help others has always propelled Ms. Darville, who previously co-owned a special needs school, CMS Learning Center, for 11 years. Prior to this, she taught at the Catholic Board of Education at Dave County and Broward County, and was also the Assistant Director of Education at Sylvan Learning Center in Miami, Florida. She is a graduate of Barry University in Miami, Florida, the Bishop Strawn School in Toronto, Canada, and attended St. Augustine's College in Nassau, Bahamas. Ms. Darville believes that we are born with a divine job to accomplish. Live, pursue your dream, pray, and work for what you want. Ms. Darville, welcome to the stage tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It is our pleasure. I know it has been a while since we last saw each other at Entrepreneurship World Cup, and so now the tables have turned, and you are on the stage tonight.
Yes, I'm in the hot seat.
I can't wait for us to get into all of the tips that you have for our future applicants for the upcoming competition. So starting it off, Melissa, you have ventured into so many aspects of business ownership, from education to food and now publishing. What was the spark that got you started and keeps you motivated?
Well, from my very first job, when I graduated college, I had a sketch and I knew I wanted to open up my own business. But I know I needed skills and job experience first. So I had the dream of either opening a preschool or a learning center. And when I came to the Bahamas, I saw that there was a need and a problem that needed to be solved. And it was that there were children who needed remediation in reading and math, and there weren't enough services for them within the schools. And so that's when the idea came to me that I should create a pull-out full-time school that just focuses on the language and the mathematics and get kids back up to speed, and then they could re-enter the school system. And that worked beautifully, and I really loved my kids and they loved me. And we had that school for 11 years. And so we helped a lot of children with that, from preschool age straight up to high school. And it was a beautiful experience. So that business came out of me noticing a need and a problem And the ice cream, I always loved ice cream. I fell in love with ice cream when I went to Jamaica, and I had I had the ice cream from Devon's house, and I fell in love with it.
Oh,
And so I was trying to find out how can I import this ice cream, and I was getting such roadblocks. Like, no, 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 we're not exporting that to the Bahamas. So I'm just
mhm.
like, okay, well, just sell me the ingredients so I could mix it here. And because I couldn't get that done, I just couldn't seem to get that solved. Um, I ended up coming with my own formulation, and instead of doing ice cream, we did sorbet. So that business really came out of a love and a hobby. So now, and I did that for 10 years. This year, 2023, would make 10 years since we started Shiva. And now this year, it's more of a personal thing with me and my personal growth and development and my relationship with God that has led me into publishing.
Awesome. Melissa, I love that. First of all, I admire you for being able to reach out to that special group of kids. They don't really get the time and attention that they need to excel to reach their highest level. And so I really applaud you for creating a school that catered to that, that allowed them to be seen and heard and recognized, and to know that there's more for them. You know, similar to what was stated in the introduction, you believe in abundance and expanding, and that we all have that potential. And you saw that in those kids. So
Yes.
I really thank you for that. Now, I did not know that you had gotten the inspiration from Devon House, because I
You
went
had it
there
before?
last year and they had such a showcase of a bunch of things. And yes, the ice cream was there and all these other things. And so when you said that, I was like, that there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. You
Yeah.
know, our Caribbean islands just getting it right. And then you
Yes.
were able to come down here and put that Bahamian flair on it. So I love it. And of course, I'll tell everyone my favorite flavor of sorbet is tamarind. You cannot get
Okay.
any more Bahamian than that. Okay, that is
No.
my goal. All right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so you truly showcase taste of the Bahamas in every spoonful. I saw it at so many places, and you kept your homeland with you. And that is something that is admirable as well, because it shows how much you care about where you come from, that sense of pride. And of course, with publishing, something that is so, special to you, so personal to you, and you being able to step out on that. When it comes to faith, there are so many ways that we can reach others. And I know that with your business, I&R Publishing Group, it'll really make a difference. And it already has. I've been seeing the reviews out there. People are loving
Yes.
these books.
It's really, and I have to be honest, the books were, some people don't understand this, they were a download for me through prayer from the
Mhm.
Holy Spirit, because I wanted to be, actually before I wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to be an author. But my guidance counselor, she said, that's not a real job. You can't do that. That's something you do on the side. And I was just like,
Oh
okay. And so I had put this dream aside from I was 18. And then I went to a women's conference, and two people there spoke to me who were authors, and they said, you have something in you. You have a story that you need to tell. I'm like, yeah, I have a story, but I don't really know how to package it, or I don't really know what's the important part about it. And they said, go
no.
and try to write it. And so that was a Sunday. On that Monday, I sat in front of the computer, blank screen, and I'm just like, I don't even know how to write a book. I said, let me Google it. So I Googled how many pages are in a book, how many words are in a book. And when I saw the answers, I'm like, there's no way that this is going to happen. And so I sat and I prayed a little bit longer. I said, God, if you want me to write this book, if you sent these messengers to me to tell me to do it, you must be able to show me how to do it.
Yes.
And just like that, I picked up my pencil and I wrote down all the chapters of the book. And I was just
Wow.
like, wow. And from those chapters, I understood, look, you need to do 100 pages. These are your chapters, 10 pages each. Let's go. And I started writing, and it would be days when I would just be like in a zone and just like getting the download and writing the information. And then it was like I would get a plug. Remember that post that you did this day. Remember that journal entry that you had that day. That matches with this. And so all of the materials that I've been collecting over the last few years were relevant to the chapters that were given to me. And if I tell you how long it took me to write the book, my son told me, my oldest son, he's in college, he said, Mommy, you cannot tell people how long it took you to write a book because the quality of the book has to do with how long it took. I'm like, yeah, but not if the book was given to you. It took me 10 days to write the first book.
Oh, wow.
And when I got to the last sentence, I just felt in my spirit, the end. And I'm like, that's it? And it's like, yeah, that's it. And then right away it said, now start another one. I'm like, are you crazy? I was just like, okay, let me see. And it did the same thing. It gave me the chapters. And I was just like, okay. And I was just pulling it all together. That took me 7 days.
Wow.
Now, Mechelle, when I tell you this one here, the truth, this took me 10 days to write. And then the second one, I finished this first one on April 6th. This one I finished April 17th. It took me 7 days to write this. And the third book, this is why I know miracles are real. Okay, we always talk about, there's evil, there's voodoo, there's this, the next thing. But we don't talk enough about how real miracles are. Faith Walk, I finished it May 7th, 24 hours. God is my witness. 24 hours. Everything was just, the reason why it was so short was because I learned how to listen to the spirit. I stopped pulling myself out of the energy. When the energy and the ideas came to me, I was able to discipline myself, sit in front of the computer, and just put everything down on paper. And it wasn't until much later, because during this time, my father had passed away. And so I went through a lot of mourning, and I really wasn't in tune with my prayer and everything and listen to the spirit. And then one day, this one was finished July 9th. Hey, sis. And this one was more like a love letter that was given to me. I'm just going to read the first part of it so you understand like what I mean, that it was downloaded a message to me. It started, my daughters, I have always been there next to you. Even when I was the furthest thing from your mind, when you endured the worst, I was still there. I had mercy on you, and I did not let them completely break you. It was me who strengthened and shielded your mind so you could endure. I was waiting for a time like this when I could lift you up. And that just came to me. So these books, this was a spiritual download. And I don't know, because with being an entrepreneur, you go through a lot.
Yes.
And you really test it. And I think because I was so tested and because I was so broken and with the trials that I faced to try to keep a business alive, it brought me so close to Christ that he gave me something else. So he's just like, listen, sweetie, a door is closing, but I'm going to open another door for you. And that's what INRI Publishing is. And the name INRI is from the crucifixion, Jesus Christ. I got that name because when I was going through a lot of stress with my business, I had to apply for something else. And I was just praying, and I was just like, God, I don't think any of this stuff is going to work out. And I don't know how this is going to work. And then I got the bing. I checked my email, and the code that they sent me to open up my account, the first 3 letters were INRI, INRI, which means Jesus. And I was like, okay, so you're talking to me. You're talking to me. You are talking to me. And so that's why I held on to that name for the publishing company, because I have to let people know, God talks to us. Yes. If we humble ourselves, and we're so afraid of being broken. Everyone's like, oh, I don't want to get worn down. I don't want people to do this thing and the next thing to me. But in your brokenness, that is when God shows his strength. So yes, you're going to go through some pain, but in that pain, you're going to learn how, and that was this one, Faith Walk. You're going to learn how to walk and how to truly trust God and realize that he's going to show up for you.
Yes.
He's not all about, he's going to give you $1 million, everything, blessings. He blesses you, but not always with finances. Mm-hmm. He blesses you with wisdom, with knowledge, with creativity. And that's what he's done for me. And, it's very